Yo, what's going on, people? Your boy, man, Mike, coming to you guys with a Falcons Q&A. Y'all already know what the time it is, man. I posted a question in the community tab, and based on these comments, your boy, man, Mike, will be answering, man. Why is there? First, this goes out to D-Time. Why is there a lack of camaraderie in our fan base, and why do you tend to flip flop every week instead of being consistent? Why do we Damn, I can't fucking read today. God damn, what the hell's going on? Why do we tend to flip flop every week instead of showing being consistent? Look, man, I can't read with shit today, man, but it is, man. What's going on, Jarvis? Raymond, all you guys, man, I appreciate it. But man, Retro, all right, man. Look, I gotta say that, my boy Retro, man, this guy right here, I want you guys to show him some love before I start anything, okay? Go to his channel, Retro Hendrix. He's right now. He's in the live stream. Go to his channel and check out his music, man. I'm telling you guys, man. I don't do a lot. Y'all already know how I do it. You know for a fact that your boy don't support any type of BS. I think he's a great artist, all right? I'm just going to be honest. But I want you guys to go to his channel and show him some love, okay? Show him some love. The beat, all right, the opening intro of this channel, all right, is his song Princess Diana. I think it's dope. And it goes back to my homegirl Hadassah, man, from the DOS Effect Management. So all of you artists, if you need someone, look, man, I personally, I personally, I'm telling you guys right now that Hadassah is that dude. Well, she's probably not dude, but you get the picture, man. But yeah, check out Retro, man, and let me get straight to the point. Look, what's my freaking drink? I don't know what the hell's going on with me today, man. But no, it's Falcons football. Let's get to the question, man. This is Falcons Q&A. Why is there? Why do fans tend to flip flop? Uh, I think this is a number of things. The number one thing for the Atlanta Falcons, our fan base, is just, and I'm probably gonna go off, and that's probably put a lot of people in their feelings just a little bit. But let's just be honest, man. Your boy don't like to. Your Mike don't do a lot of flip flopping. I'm honest, and this is my honest opinion. When you look at the Atlanta Falcons and this fan base, you got to understand that this is the South. All right, this is the absolute South. And being from Atlanta, being from the South, you have to understand what goes on in the South. It's always going to be a mixture of opinions, a mixture of ethnicities, people, black, white, Hispanic. I mean, it's just a mixture of everything. So when you look at the Falcons fan base, it's no different than everyday life. All right. And plus, on top of that, Michael Vick. Michael Vick, bro. Michael Vick. Michael Vick is probably the worst thing that ever happened to this franchise. He's the best and the worst thing that probably ever happened to this franchise. All right. And I lean more towards the worst thing that have ever happened to this franchise. When you look at the history of the Atlanta Falcons, no, we haven't had a lot of success as far as winning championships. But when Matt Ryan, Michael Vick, these guys are probably two of the more prolific quarterbacks in this franchise history. I think they're the more prolific players in this franchise history. And I love Deion Sanders, but what Michael Vick did for this franchise, he put us on the map. He gave us more exposure. He gave, the world something to look forward to when he turned on to Atlanta Falcons football games. Michael Vick is one of the best things that have ever happened to this franchise. But he's absolutely one of the worst things that have ever happened to this franchise. And what I mean by that, I mean, do we have to go over the dogfighting thing, man? Do we have to go over the fact that, he lied to not only the fans, but to Mr. Blank? Lied straight to his face. All he had to do was tell the truth. And that right there, this incident was probably one of the biggest divides, the beginning of the biggest divide in the NFL, if you ask me. Why? It was because you have Falcons fans that love Michael Vick, and they do not want to let go. And I totally understand why you don't want to let go of Michael Vick, because he was that dude. It was like an event. It was like an event going to a Falcons fan and watching a Michael Vick show. Watching him DVD, all right? Dunn, Vick, TJ Duckett. That was an event every freaking Sunday. We may have not won every game, but damn, we partied hard, okay? Damn, those guys played. But when you look at it, man, this is one of the main reasons why there's a divide in the fan base. All right? This is one of the reasons why there's a divide in the fan base, because people don't want to let go of Michael Vick. And you look at Matt Ryan, who is nothing like Michael Vick. All right? Michael Vick is black. Matt Ryan is obviously white, okay? Michael Vick is fast. He's a great athlete. He has an amazing arm, a big-time arm. You look at Matt Ryan, he's not really a running quarterback. He's not a quarterback at all. Matt Ryan is, I wouldn't say slow, but he's not fast. He doesn't have a big arm. He has an okay arm, above average arm. So these guys are different in a lot of ways. So on one hand, you have these Michael Vick fans who can't let go, and you got fans that love Matt Ryan. So there's an obvious divide, and this is something that we'll never get over. All right, we'll never get over this as fact. All right, but I don't think, when it all comes down to it, man, real Falcons fans, we're going to support Matt Ryan. We're going to support Michael Vick. He is a part of something. He is a part of this franchise, whether whoever likes to, agree or like. But both of those guys are Atlanta Falcons. And when it comes down to it, bro, we got to stick together. Even though, I don't support everything Michael Vick does, he's still a part of this franchise. And we need to respect that as fact. All right, but the next up, man, should Matt Ryan audible a lot more? I've noticed that he doesn't really audible. Like, if the OC calls a running play and the defense is in run stop formation, he never audibles to change it. I think he should have the power, because he's a smart quarterback, and think it would also help the team. The Beast Among Us, one of my favorite. All you guys my favorites. All right, fuck all that. But yeah, I don't know where this idea came from that Matt Ryan doesn't audible. I don't know where that began. I don't understand it. I don't understand that whatsoever. Why? Is because your boy does exactly that. He does exactly that. Matt Ryan does exactly that. He audibles. Contrary to unpopular belief, that Matt Ryan does, in fact, audible. Alright? He does audible. I don't know where you guys get this from. And two, Matt Ryan, there's a hierarchy. There's obviously a hierarchy. Matt Ryan doesn't put together game plans. There's a game plan put in place for a specific reason. Because there's more guys on the team that aren't as intelligent as a Matt Ryan, who can read defenses, who can, like a guy like Ricardo Allen, who knows everyone's job. Not everyone is like Matt Ryan. So you need for these guys to be coddled a bit. So Matt Ryan goes to audible, and you have a guy like just say for instance, Justin Hardy. He doesn't know what the play is. He doesn't know what he's supposed to be because he doesn't know the playbook as well as a Matt Ryan. And Matt Ryan goes to change a play, and Justin Hardy doesn't know, or the offensive linemen don't know the play because they don't know, what they haven't studied the playbook. It could cause a false start. It could cause a guy to run a wrong route, and Matt Ryan, throws a pick because the guy's not in the right place. He takes a sack because the guy's in the right place. Being able to audible is not what defines a quarterback. Tom Brady. Tom Brady doesn't change plays. I don't know why everyone wants Matt Ryan to be able to audible. And I've seen this over and over again. I wish Matt Ryan would be able to change plays. Look, we can go back to Tom Brady. Go look at it. Go look at a lot of their games. Tom Brady doesn't change a lot of plays. He has to call what is called. He has to run what is called. That's just fact. Why do you see Tom Brady having hissy fits on the sideline? Why? Him and Josh McDaniels have gone back and forth on the sideline plenty of times because he didn't like the play that was called. So when you look at it, I don't understand the narrative that Matt Ryan has the audible more. I don't think that. I really don't know. And you can go back as far as Peyton Manning. There's a big misconception with Peyton Manning that he is, one of those guys who can, change plays. Peyton Manning didn't call a lot of audibles. What the Colts had a plan and they had a system in place where Peyton Manning would go. They would call a play with two plays in mind. So he would go in. The offensive coordinator will call the run play, and based on the formation, Peyton Manning would have the ability or the duty to change out of that play based on what the defense is calling. So it's not so much these guys are audible. Matt Ryan doesn't have that freedom. Why? Because a lot of times guys just don't know. You can't just go up calling audibles and guys don't know their assignment. That does more harm than good. All right? So that's one of the facts. This is one of the things that, as a fan, this is not like Madden. You can just call out of a play and players know exactly what. Some players just don't know what the playbook. And that's why a lot of guys fail, because they don't know the playbook. They don't know how to read a defense. And Matt Ryan's a guy that knows how to read a defense, but you can't go and, calling plays, especially for, let's say if you're a guy like Ron Schrader. If Ron Schrader is a bad pass protector and you go in with a running play and Matt Ryan checks out of that running play to a pass play, and you have an offensive lineman that is weak at pass protection, it's going to do more harm than good. Why? Because you're not getting the best out of your offensive lineman. Especially if your offensive lineman is struggling. Yeah. If your offensive line is struggling, guess what? Matt Ryan being able to audible may not be a good idea. So you have to go kind of call plays. Offensive coordinators have to call plays for the entire roster, not just Matt Ryan. All right, should we be concerned about our kicker, Giorgio Tavecchio? I don't think so. I think Giorgio was a little Um, in the first game, I thought he was just a little bit shaky. I don't like seeing our kickers miss any kicks, period, point blank, because Matt Bryan he pretty much spoiled this organization. He spoiled me, and he spoiled this organization because he never misses, and when he does, it's a complete shock, or it's what if maybe 58 yards, 60 yards. Matt Bryan rarely ever missed. So we're gonna look at Giorgio Tavecchio with the side eye until he shows us that he is capable of making those big kicks. We've been spoiled by Matt Bryan. We've been spoiled by Morton Anderson. Those guys were legendary kickers. So when you look at it, I don't think we should be concerned about the kicker, but I do think we should be cautious until he shows me and until he shows the fans that he's capable of doing this consistently. Yeah, I think we should be, just a little bit concerned. All right. It's all about two things for me this year. First, can the Falcons establish the run consistently? The first part of that, I really think so because I love what I've seen from Chris Lindstrom. I don't know about you guys, but I love what I've seen from Chris Lindstrom. The guy's just physical. He's excellent. I was doing some film work with Lieutenant Dan, yesterday, watching some film on the Dolphins game, and what I saw from Chris Lindstrom, this guy's a beast in the run game. This guy knows how to seal. He's one of those offensive linemen that is capable and loves to pancake big off defensive linemen. This guy's physical. Needs a little bit of work in the pass protection, but in the run game, this guy's awesome, man. Chris Lindstrom is the real deal. I like what I've seen from Wes Schweitzer at center as well. So I like what I've seen from Wes Schweitzer. I like what I've seen from Chris Lindstrom. Jamon Brown is the guy that I really keeping my eye on, and I think maybe he would be the left guard. A lot of people thought that it would be James Carpenter, but what I've seen from Jamon Brown, I think this guy's physical. If you, like I said, I was watching film with Dan yesterday, and I tell you guys, this guy is physical. He is a beast, bro. A big physical guy. And this is exactly what the Atlanta Falcons need. More beef up front and two aggressive guards in Jamon Brown and Christian Instrom, who I think will be the starters at guard. But yeah, as far as the run game, I think we have the offensive linemen are pretty much in place. All right, we know we're going to get from Mac. We know we're going to get from Chris Lindstrom. Um, we know based on this preseason how Chris Lindstrom and Jamon Brown is going to be. I like Tyson Bryo. Tyson Bryo is going to shock a lot of Falcons fans. I think he's going to be a much. I love what I've seen from him too. Him and Jamon Brown, those guys have been physical. Those three guys, Jamon Brown, Tyson Bryo, and Chris Lindstrom. Look, man, those guys are going to be absolutely physical. So when you look at the run game, yeah, the offensive lineman is going to be pretty good. We already know out of the wide receivers that Julio Jones and Mohamed Sanu is going to they're going to block well in the run game. But the running backs, those guys are going to be tough, man. Quadri Olson, Devontae Freeman, we get him back, a healthy Devontae Freeman this year. I think they're going to kind of bring him on slowly. I don't think during the first part of the year he's going to see maybe 20 carries, but I think you're going to see numbers, from Devontae Freeman like 15 to 20 carries in the first couple of games to kind of get his feet wet. But towards the end of the season, you kind of see, what you're going to get out of Devontae Freeman. Edo Smith, I think he's going to see a significant amount of snaps. But Quadri Olson, man, oh my God. This dude reminds me, he does remind me of, and stay with me. And Dan I was watching film with Dan yesterday. He's like, no, don't say that, don't say that. But I think he really reminds me of a Marshawn Lynch. And why I say that is because this guy runs with a purpose. He runs with a purpose. He runs north and south, and he doesn't play around. He doesn't play around. It's hard to get this guy down. Once he gets started, it's hard to get Quadri Olison down. This guy's physical. He reminds me of a Marshawn Lynch. Lieutenant Dan, who's actually live right now. But this guy, he reminds me of those types of running backs. And stay with me, Golden Rooster. I don't see. I'm not saying that he's Marshawn Lynch. What I'm saying with Quadri Olison, these guys are north and south runners, and they don't. There's not a lot of wasted movement. You're not seeing these guys dance in the backfield. You're not seeing them doing a whole lot of, what Devontae Freeman does. Devontae Freeman does in the backfield. He does a lot of juking. That's not what Quadri Olison does. That's not what James Conner does. That's not what Marshawn Lynch does. That's not what Adrian Peterson does. These guys go north and south, fast, quick, in a hurry, and that's why I say he reminds me of a Marshawn Lynch. No, I'm not saying that he's going to be a Marshawn Lynch, all right? I'm not saying that. There's not a lot of wasted movement when you see Quadri Olison. He's north and south. He's physical. He's big, and he's fast. You get those guys in the open field, it's dang near impossible to get these guys down. And that's why I say he reminds me of a Marshawn Lynch, all right? With the Falcons defense, pass rush specifically get consistent pressure, especially on money downs. Man, look, based on preseason, what I can say yeah, but this is not the preseason. I love what I've seen for these guys so far. But when you look at the pass rush, man, I love that they are going to a 34. I love that they're going to a 34 to 52 bare fronts. They're going to show you guys all types of looks. All right, so when you look at it, I don't know what we're going to get out of pass rush, but what I've seen from Tack, I love what I've seen from Tack. I love what I've seen from Vick so far. I love what I've seen from John Kaminsky. Those guys are definitely going to have every opportunity to get to the get to the quarterback. So I'm not sure. I think he's a little bit premature, but based on what I've seen in the preseason, guys like Austin Larkin. Austin Larkin is a guy that I think we should pay close attention to. Um, John Kaminsky, obviously, as well as Latulele. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he played with Tack. He played with Tack at UCLA, and I like what I've seen from him. John Kaminsky. You have Grady Jarrett, obviously. Stevenson, I love what I've seen from him in flashes as a pass rusher. But look, I think the Falcons have enough up front so they can get pressure. I haven't seen a lot of Adrian Claiborne. The Falcons, I really like the depth on the defensive line this year. If these guys can continue to stay healthy, Allen Bailey, those guys continue to stay healthy, man. I think we'll be able to get enough pressure because, like I said, these guys have a multifaceted defense, and if you don't know what's coming from for you, as far as offensive lineman is concerned, you don't know where the pressure is coming from. It's going to put a lot of pressure on those guys up front. So you're going to see Vic Beasley get sacks. You're going to see Grady Jarrett get sacks. You're going to see, Tack McKinley get to the quarterback. But pass rush, pass defense, pass rush, I'm not sure exactly, man. Do you think Kurt Ben Kurt could be Matt Ryan's successor? I don't know about all that. I really don't know about that. I really like Kurt Ben Kurt, but to say he could, he has what it takes to be Matt Ryan's successor. Honestly, I don't think the Falcons would want a undrafted quarterback to be Matt Ryan's successor. I like what I've seen from him as a quarterback in the preseason, but it's not really a marketing It's all about marketing. And let's be honest, I don't think you can market a guy like Kurt Benkirk. And like I said, I love what I've seen from Kurt Benkirk. Yeah, it's hard to market a guy like Kurt Benkirk. If he turns out to be a Kurt Warner, maybe you can run with that. But I don't think he's a Kurt Warner. I think he's a backup. And what I've seen so far suggests just as that. No, I really don't think he could be Matt Ryan's successor. Will Dirk Cutter propel the Falcons to a Super Bowl win? I've said this before. I like Dirk Cutter as a play caller. I think he's an upgrade, definitely an upgrade from Steve Sarkisian. But what the Falcons need to get to the Super Bowl is a defense. We know what we're going to get from the offense. We have Julio. We have Matt Ryan, Calvin Ridley, Muhammad Sanu, Devontae Freeman, Ito Smith, offensive line, Jake Matthews, Alex Mack, Chris Lindstrom. We know what we have on offense. But we need, like you said before, we need a defense. We need a consistent pass rush. We need these guys to get turnovers. So I'm not going to put the onus on Dirk Cutter. I think Dirk Cutter and his play calling, these guys are definitely going to get. These guys, he's definitely going to score points. That's without a doubt. Dirk Cutter will score points. He knows how to get the ball into the end zone. He knows how to put everyone in position to succeed. That's something that Steve Sarkisian struggled with. He didn't know how to get the most out of his talent. All right, so yes, I think Dirk Cutter, his play calling is enough to help us get to the Super Bowl. But no, I don't think Dirk Cutter alone, is going to get the Falcons to the Super Bowl. I think the defense has to be a significant role, a significant part of this team, and a big part of this team. I think the Falcons have to have a top 10 defense for us to win the Super Bowl, not just get to the Super Bowl. Well, we have to have a top 10 defense to get to the Super Bowl. Should we draft a quarterback in the next few years to possibly later rounds to build towards Matt Ryan backup or Kurt Ben Kirk that guy? I think I answered this earlier, but yeah, I don't think Kurt Ben Kirk is. I think he is the backup. Falcons signed him to a 3-year deal, so we have him next year. But he has to stay healthy. He has to be consistent and he has to be healthy. But I think next year and possibly the year after, because Matt Ryan has a potential out in 22. So we're gonna look at the Falcons possibly looking towards to um, bring in the next backup to compete with Ben Kirk, because I don't think you can continue to rely on Matt Schaub, who is on his last year of his deal. I don't think he'll be back next year, but we'll never know. But no, obviously, like I said, I think Kurt Ben Kirk is a pretty good backup, but just that. Who's gonna be the return man? The return man for the Falcons. Ish. Um, honestly, I have no idea, man. Um, we know that Green has a hamstring issue. I damn sure don't want Justin Hardy back there. Zacchaeus, I'm not sure if he has that capability. Kendall Sheffield is a guy that possibly, with his speed, I haven't seen much out of him in the preseason, so I can't say Sheffield. Honestly, I don't know, man. I have no freaking idea. I don't like our return game so far this preseason. I'm just going to be real. I don't like it. Just hope to God and pray to God that they are better than Justin Hardy last year. That's all I hope. I have no expectations for the return game this year because no one has really stepped up. No one has stepped up as a returner for the Falcons, and that's the aspect of the game that we know a lot of times is overlooked. It's a return game. Maybe Kentron Bonner. I haven't been impressed with him as a returner. I just don't know. Honestly, I just don't know. Will Julio Jones sit out 2019 if he doesn't get an extension? Man, no. Heck no. All right? Johnny Talk Sport, no, that's not what Julio is about. Julio is a team guy. All right, he barely sat out last year when he was looking for a new deal. So I don't think Julio will sit out. He's not AB. All right, we already know that issue going on with AB. I mean, every time I turn around, something is up with AB. Julio Jones is not that type of guy. He's going to get his money. He's going to be the highest paid receiver in the game. Period. Point blank. Julio is that guy. So no, I don't think he will sit out. I mean, come on, Julio Jones sit out. Come on, bro. That man loves football way too much to sit out the entire sit out 2019. How many and which backs will stay? And do you think one of our backs could possibly be moved to part-time fullback? Absolutely. I think a lot of people have paid close attention um, to this. If you guys have followed a lot of things on social media, there's a rumor that the Falcons would quite possibly turn Quadri Olison into a fullback halfback role. I'm not exactly sure if that is true. I know he has the capability, of being a blocker, but I don't know about the fullback position. I think Luke Stalker, if anything, the Falcons will carry four running backs. I don't think Ricky Ortiz would be that guy, but Luke Stalker has had, um, he has definitely had experience as a fullback. So I could see the Falcons keeping four running backs and having Luke Stalker as that fullback, because I haven't seen much from Rico Ortiz to justify him coming back for this season. Julio Jones contract extension. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. Don't worry about Julio Jones, man. Julio Jones is going to get paid. I think Julio Jones is definitely going to be the highest paid. Like I said, I think he's going to receive a contract somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 years to 65 to $75 million, possibly even more. He's going to be the highest paid receiver in the game. So don't worry about Julio. Is Jermaine Grace going to take Duke Riley's roster spot? I doubt that. Duke Riley is injured. But I don't know how significant and how serious that is, because we know that a lot of teams right now just don't want the second string guys. They damn sure don't want the first string guys playing in the preseason, because guys are getting injured. So much money is involved in the game right now. So even a guy like Duke Riley, what happens to if something happens to Deion Jones again, God forbid, but we can't lose guys in preseason. We need these guys during the game. So Jermaine Grace, I love what I've seen from him. I think he will make the squad. I don't think Bruce Carter will be on the squad just based on Jermaine Grace. He has the ability to play on special teams as well. Duke Riley is going to play on special teams, and I think in this new defense, we're going to see what we're going to get out of Duke Riley. We're going to see what we're going to get out of Jermaine Grace and Devondre Campbell. All right, we're going to see a much better defense, a much more aggressive defense. So I'm interested to see what Duke Riley can do in this defense, especially using his speed as a pass rusher. All right. Did I change? I changed my profile pic. Yeah, man. Look, I always got to do some changing, man. What's life without adaptation, man? Got to adapt. At least try to make things better. Mike, will the human race be wiped out by global warming one day? Interesting question. Um, I think the human race will be wiped out by your boy Mad Mike if you keep asking crazy ass questions like this. All right. Which draft picks are going to have the best preseason so far, and how do you feel about Marcus Green so far? Blue Duck. I like this question. Sheesh. Man. I think so far in the preseason, as far as the draft picks are concerned, man, this is difficult. Uh, I think if I had to make, if I was forced to pick anyone, I would say John Kaminsky. I just love what I've seen with John Kaminsky, and being that the Falcons pass rush is going to be highlighted this year, I think John Kaminsky is going to play a significant role on this defense. I think he and Jack Crawford, those guys are going to be competing as that maybe third or fourth defensive lineman is going to come in and make an impact as a pass rusher. That is where the John Kaminsky and Jack Crawford are going to play a significant role. So I like what I've seen from John Kaminsky um, as far as the draft is concerned. But guys that are not draft picks, I love what I've seen um, out of Austin Larkin. I think if you look at the Falcons' defense and what has happened in the preseason, you have to say Austin Larkin is making plays, bro. Austin Larkin is definitely making plays, and he's undrafted free agent. Falcons have had their eye on him for a while out of Tennessee. Didn't have a lot of playing time. Didn't have the ability to showcase his talent. But now with the Atlanta Falcons, and then it's 34, it's 4-4. It's multifaceted defense. Players like Austin Larkin, John Kaminsky, those guys are going to have every opportunity to showcase their talent. Do you think Duke Hughes should be fired if we have another losing season this year? Absolutely not. Dan Quinn is not going anywhere. Even if the only way Dan Quinn is going to get fired, man, we go 0-16. And I doubt that happens. We're not going 0-16, so Dan Quinn, is definitely not going to be fired whatsoever. But those are the questions, man. Everybody in the chat, I'm going to go through this real quick. Um, Archangel, rise up, fan. Roast action as usual was good. We do need more live chat. Yeah, man. I told you this is exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to give more live stream. Actually, man, like I said before, um, after every game, every single game, we're definitely going to go live. I like that raw emotion from the fans and myself. Look, I think I'm at best when I'm just everything is just raw emotions, especially after the game. Everybody's excited. Everybody's either excited or they're pissed off. It's nothing like having a live stream when everybody pissed off. I'm emotional. They emotional. You never know what's going to come out. So yeah, I'm definitely going to do more live stream. We're closer than ever now that the team has been built to suit a team strategy. Yeah, man. I think what I was talking about, what he's talking about there, the Falcons, the team right now, the team is just built a different way. And it's not just to, back in the day, one player. Instead of having a multifaceted defense, a multifaceted offense, and that's what something that Vick hindered this team. They didn't have the opportunity to be a run, to have a quarterback that is balanced, a quarterback that can, do a multitude of things. They can run, they can throw. Um, Defenses just have no idea what to do with those guys, and that's why you have guys like, Andrew Luck. He can move around. Not recently, because he's had an injury. You have guys like Jameis Winston, Cam Newton, Michael Vick. Those guys, I don't know why I just went blank, but Seattle quarterback, Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, these guys are just causing problems in the league. That's why you see a guy like um, Oklahoma, Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is another guy that is being drafted because when you look at a quarterback that can do a multitude of things, have both a running game and a passing game, it just causes so much problem for the defense. So, yeah, man, when you build a team that is balanced, it gives you more things and more threats, and that's something that Michael Vick did not provide for this. He couldn't throw. He was inaccurate. Had a strong arm, but he wasn't accurate. He's one of the most inaccurate quarterbacks in the history, man. He threw hard. That's one of the reasons why, Roddy White struggled in the first years of his career. Roddy was on the verge of being a bust because Michael Vick was just so he didn't know how to put touch on the ball, and it's something that Matt Ryan, he knows how to do. So when you look at the difference between Matt Ryan built Atlanta Falcons, there's a much balanced team versus a Michael Vick, and yeah, man, I think that's just something that now teams are going more towards a balanced offense. I'm seeing Eli Manning comments in here and everything, man. My boy David Chambers, David Chambers, man. Woo, David, did you really just say that? Most fake fans will take Jamarcus Russell over Ryan just because they choose to dis. Hey, man, look, I don't know about all that, man. Jamarcus Russell was pretty terrible, man. I don't know if anybody would love to have that dude on. Any idea what McGarry's coming back? McGarry, I don't think there's a rush to bring back McGarry, man. McGarry is that dude, but I don't think there's a rush to bring him back, especially with this heart issue. But more than just the heart issue, I think you have Tyson Bryo. Until Tyson Bryo shows that he is not the guy, shows that he can't be that anchor at right tackle, I don't think you should rush McGarry back. In fact, if Tyson Bryo is playing well, look, keep him on the bench. Let him sit out a year. What's wrong with it? There's no rush and bring it back. Falcons have a good right tackle. But if Tyson Bryo struggles for whatever reason, which I doubt, then you bring in McGarry. But I don't see them happening. I don't see them, Caleb McGarry coming back anytime soon. I think the first time you would possibly see uh, McGarry is probably around week 8. That's just my take. I don't think you bring back McGarry in it. Brashad, what's good, man? Folks just need to deal with the fact that number 2 is going to be here for a while. Yeah, Matt Ryan. I can actually see Matt Ryan being here for another 5 to 6 years. I don't think Matt Ryan is retiring anytime soon. So Ryan haters, suck it up. Your boy ain't going nowhere anytime soon, man. That's at least 5 to 6 years we're going to see Matt Ryan. But yeah, man. Yeah, he'll definitely play well into his 40s, Rashad. Um, Golden Rooster Beasley's comfort position. Yeah, I think this defense actually, if you look at the scouting report on both Vic Beasley and Tack McKinley, and this is one of the reasons why the Falcons have definitely asked Tack McKinley to lose weight and Vic Beasley to work on his footwork, is because these guys were projected as 34 outside linebackers coming out of college. So, yes, man, I love how Tack looks. I'm just going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say this, and this is a hot take for me. I think Tack is going to get close to 15 sacks. I truly believe that. I think Tack has the ability to get 15 sacks this year, just based on his defense and how it's structured. Because Vic Beasley is going to command a certain amount of attention. Grady Jarrett, he's going to command a certain amount of attention. You got Desmond Trufant. You got Ricardo Allen coming back. Keanu O'Neal, Deion Jones in the middle. Like this defense is going to be a multifaceted defense. You don't know where a lot of these blitzes going to come from, and you can't double down on Tack. You're not going to be able to double down on Tack. You have to focus on Vic Beasley. You have to focus on Grady Jarrett. All right, and if you continue to get play from Jack Crawford, Adrian Claiborne, John Kaminsky, that's only going to make Tack McKinney that much dangerous. So I'm going to go on the limb and say this guy is he's definitely going to get 10 sacks. But I think Tack McKinley this year is going to be a 15 sack guy. That's just my take. That's a hot take. I'm going to go out a limb, and that's my take on Tack. Do you think the Falcons should blitz more? Absolutely. The Falcons will blitz more. Like I said, this is a 34. Like I said, we've been talking about this for over a year. All right, you guys are probably tired of me saying this, but the Falcons were going to go more to a 34 look anyway. And anytime you have a 34 look, 4-4 Bears, 5-2, look, these guys are going to blitz. And they're going to blitz a lot. You're going to see corner blitz. You're going to see safety blitz. You're going to see Vick Beasley spy. You're going to see Vick Beasley coming off, off stunts. You're going to see everything out of Dan Quinn. There will be nothing Dan Quinn won't do to get a pass rush. He is going to put pressure on the quarterback, even if he has to blitz. It's going to happen. We're not just going to sit back and hope that we get to the quarterback. We're going to go after and get after the quarterback. Actually, I don't know if I answered this, but someone said something. They said something about Julio Jones running for well, getting 3,000 yards receiving. I don't know about all that, man. Look, but Julio is Julio, man. I don't think he'll get 3,000, but I damn sure wouldn't doubt him getting 2,000. Julio is that. If he can stay healthy, man, I think Julio definitely has that ability, especially with these new rules. That little crybaby in New Orleans, what those guys did, what those guys, did and continue to do, still crying about what happened in the playoffs. You lost, but you being able to challenge plays downfield, I think there will be opportunities for Julio to get deep downfield and teams to be more aggressive. I don't like this new rule, but it is what it is, man. I definitely think Julio will have opportunity to get 2,000, but I don't know about 3,000. Do you think Vic Beasley is better moving pass rusher when he's been moved around rather than being placed in one spot? I think everyone, Tobias, I think everyone is better, being moved around instead of being stationary. If you're not a guy like Aaron Donald, if you're not Aaron Donald, I think you should be moved around. Create mismatches. And this is something that a lot of defensive coordinators don't do a lot of. All right, they don't move your best player around. All right, and Vic Beasley he's played on the right side of. I mean, just go back and look at his Clemson days. He was the right end. He's played on the left end. He's played on the right end. He's Dan Quinn in his 2016 season where he had 15 and a half sacks. Vic Beasley was moved around a lot. So the fact that the Falcons are now going to a 34 pretty much states that they'll do exactly that. Those guys will move Tack around. They will move Vic, and you kind of saw that last year against. If you guys go look at on YouTube, go look at the Arizona game, and you kind of get a feel for what the Atlanta Falcons defense will be. That is probably one of the signs, one of the games where Dan Quinn said to himself that he's going to go back to a 34. He's going to go back blitzing. He's going to go back moving Vic around. He's going to go back to, moving Tack and Vic around to kind of create mismatches. That's the game when everything came together. So go check out the Arizona game where the Falcons, I think they blew them out. I think it was like 40 something. I forget what the name, forget what the score of the game was, but the Falcons blew them out, and the defense played great. So check that game out, and you kind of get a feel for what the Atlanta Falcons are going to do on the defensive side of the ball. I'm going to cry if Eric Albert excels in New England. Eric Albert, man, I like him as an athlete, but like the video I posted yesterday, the guy's just terrible, man. He's a terrible blocker. Guys just can't. He can't block worth of crap. All right, my 2-year-old nephew, all right, nephew can sit up here and block better than Eric Sauber. This guy can't block worth of crap. This guy is absolutely terrible as a blocker. He can't pass protect. He can't run block. He can't do anything. So I know the guy's an athlete. I know a lot of people, including myself, love his potential, but the dude can't block. And when you have a quarterback like a Matt Ryan at the helm, you need guys who can block. You need guys like Levine Toilolo who can block. You need guys like Luke Stalker who can block. They may not be the athletes that Eric Seibert is, Austin Hooper is, but you need guys who can block. And that boy, like I said, that dude was absolute trash and blocking. All right, he was absolute garbage at blocking. And Falcons, like they're going back to a more physical style of football play. And if you can't be physical as a tight end, you can't be physical as a wide receiver and running back, offensive lineman on this offense, you have no place here. And Eric Saubert had absolutely no place here. But I would not be surprised if he goes up there and um, catch a few balls, make a few plays in New England, because that's what they do. New England, that's what they do, man. They make players. They get the best out of players. And I don't think Eric Sauber is going to be a main piece in the offense, but you never know with these guys. They're looking for another guy that can be a Gronkowski, but Eric Sauber, man, I don't think so. I don't think he'll be that great. I think he'll make some plays, but I don't think he'll be that great, man. What's my opinion on Jordan Miller? I think Jordan Miller has the potential to be that fourth corner for the Falcons. I think he's going to play a significant amount of time on the. I think he's going to play more on special teams. He's going to have the opportunity to play, especially in the division. You have the Tampa Bay Bucks with the new what's his name, the new head coach. He's going to use a lot of 4, 5 wide receiver sets. We already know that the Saints use a lot of 4, 5 receiver sets. All they like to do is pass. So he's going to have every opportunity to play, especially in this division. So yeah, I think I like what I've seen from Jordan Miller. He has to tackle. He has to tackle better because his tackling coming out of college, he wasn't the best tackler. But right now, I think he's probably it's going to be more magnified in the NFL versus college because he can't tackle, but he can make plays. You don't want your DBs tackling a lot anyway, but he has to improve his tackling. But outside of that, I think he's going to be a tremendous corner. He's going to make a. He's going to make. I think he's going to make some noise next year. We don't know what's going to happen with Desmond Trufant after 22, after 2021. Don't know what's going to happen because there's potential out with Desmond Trufant. The Falcons could possibly be looking to move on from him because you have Jordan Miller, you have Kendall Sheffield, so Falcons could possibly be looking to get rid of Desmond Trufant if he doesn't perform well this year, up to par this year. So we could be looking at Jordan Miller in the future being a cornerback as well as Kendall Sheffield, but I don't think Jordan Miller is going to be a starter anytime soon. Isaiah Oliver, I really like. Think he's going to be a big time player. The Falcons, extraordinaire 15 sacks for tax. Look, man, I don't say this stuff for fun. I don't say this for shock value. If I say that I see Tack as a 15 sack guy, I truly believe that. If Vick Beasley can get 15 sacks, why the hell the Tack can't? Seriously, if Vick Beasley can get 15 sacks and Tack McKinley is a more complete pass rusher, defensive end than Vick Beasley right now, why the hell Tack can't? Think about that. Tack can do it, especially in this new defense. Why? Why can't he? He can damn sure do it. So absolutely, I believe that. I truly believe that. Yeah, man. Those the Saints. It's just it's laughable, man. Acting like crybabies, man. Get over it, man. How many games will you think uh, will they give Ty Sombrero? I think he is the starter. I don't think it's a matter of games. It's all about his performance. If he performs well, Ty Sombrero is going to be the starter, and Caleb McGarry will have his opportunity next season. But absolutely not. Ty Sombrero is not on a game. All right, it's all about his performance. If he performs well, just like anybody else on that offensive line, outside of Jake Matthews, Alex Mack, if they perform well, they play. This is the reason why you brought in Jamon Brown, Carpenter. You have Wes Schweitzer as well. This is why you did this. Competition. So the Falcons' offensive line is all about competition, man. I don't think these guys will. I really don't think Tyson Barlow will. Tyson Braille, these guys, he will be on the game basis. But it's all about his performance. He performs well, he's not going to be out of start lineup. So we just wait for Caleb McGarry to develop to play next year. He will see some time. I think he will see a significant time, like short yardage situations where you need that big. You're trying to out physical. Got teams like the Carolina Panthers, teams with those big defenses. You want to kind of grind those guys. You want to kind of grind, run the ball and whatnot. You bring in a guy like Caleb McGarry who can be that that extra tight end. Um, but yeah, a swing tackle, tight end. Yeah, I think you'll see a lot of that from Caleb McGarry. But I think Tyson Brown is definitely going to be on the right tackle. I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't think, like I said, if he struggles, you're going to see Caleb McGarry. But Tyson Barlow, just get used to it. He is the right tackle. How do you feel about Casey taking over for Desmond next year? Desmond is not going. Yeah, I don't think um, Casey is an outside corner. I think he's more of a free safety slot type of guy. You want these guys making plays, and that's what Desmond Trufant. He's an outside corner. He doesn't make the plays. He's not a ball hawk like Demonte Casey. So if the Falcons are going to do anything with Demonte Casey, he's just going to be a freelancer. He's going to be one of those guys like Troy Polamalu. He's going to be like the Honey Badger. You just put him in a spot and tell him to go make plays. That's what you're going to get with Demonte Casey. I don't think Demonte Casey is one of those guys that you say that, he is a outside corner. He is a slot corner. He is an outside linebacker. You know what I'm saying? Guys that you can look at him and say, he has a position. Demonte Casey is a jack of all trades. This guy can do it all. He can play anywhere at any time. You put him at linebacker, I promise you, Demonte Casey will find a way to make a play at outside linebacker. You put him at strong safety, he can hit. Demonte Casey is a good tackler, excellent tackler. The guy will hit you. He loves to hit. You put him at free safety. Look, the guy led the league in interceptions last year. He led the league in interceptions. He can make plays. So that's what Demonte Casey will be for the Falcons. I don't think he's one of those guys that you're going to say he is this and he's that. Demonte Casey is just a playmaker, and Dan Quinn is just going to find ways to feature him. He's going to play corner. He's going to play in the slot. He's going to blitz. He's going to be a free safety. He's going to be the strong safety. All right, you're going to see formations where you have Demonte Casey lining up at strong safety. Keanu Neal is in a box playing outside linebacker. Yeah, outside linebacker. You're going to see formations like that. You're going to see Ricardo Allen as the free safety. Hell, you might even see Ricardo Allen as a corner, as a slot. The Falcons are right now, if they continue to do exactly what they've done in the preseason and showcase guys' talent, yeah, we're going to see a lot of these. We're going to see things like Demonte Casey, line up all over the place. Falcons are going to do some crazy things this year. So get ready for that. These guys are going to make some crazy plays. You're going to see players in some crazy positions. How many turnovers do you think he'll get? Man, like I said, Demonte Casey is just Demonte Casey, man. You can't put a ceiling on this guy. I think last year, if you would have, been based on his previous season, no one would have said that Demonte Casey would have, played, would have led the league in interceptions. No one would have said that. No one would have said that this guy would lead the league in interceptions. So why would I put a cap on Demonte Casey, man? I just can't do it. You can't put a cap on him because he's that dynamic. He's just a playmaker. Period. So when you look at it, yeah, man, I like what I've seen from Demonte Casey in the last year. He's made that definitely made that jump. But I think he's going to be a significant. I think he's going to be a special player for the Falcons because he's going to be used in so many ways. I hate predictions, but what do you think about the Falcons' record? After week 8, uh, man, you love putting dudes on the spot with these questions. Um, it depends on the defense. I'm not worried about the offense, but it really depends on the defense, man. I think we have to really focus on the defense. I want to see what the defense does the first 3 games in the season, and then I can answer that question because if the defense comes out struggling, then Matt Ryan and Julio Jones, those guys are going to have to carry it. So, but if I was forced to make a decision, I could see the Falcons being somewhere in the neighborhood of what 5-2. Yeah, I can see him being 5-2 after week 8. I think that's pretty good, just based on the talent. I think they can be somewhere about 5-2 during week 8. If Quinn is let go at the end of the year, would the Falcons consider hiring Cutter or Malarkey? Nah, man, I don't want no parts of Derek Cutter. No, let's just not pretend. Let's pretend like you never asked that question. Let's pretend like you never asked that question. Don't want to even think about that dude being the head coach for the Falcons. I don't want to. No. I thought Tampa Bay made a bad mistake. I thought Tampa Bay made a huge mistake hiring Dirk Cutter as the as the head coach. I think he's a good offensive coordinator, but head coach, oh hell no. I'd rather have Sarkisian as head coach. Nah, I'm just bullcrapping. Yeah, I'm just bullshit, man. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think Dan Quinn is going anywhere. We don't have to worry about Dan Quinn going anywhere. I think his job is pretty much solidified. He's not going anywhere unless the Falcons, go 0-16, 3-13. Dan Quinn is not going anywhere anytime soon. Do you think we have a lot of speed, but we're small size? Being look, I don't think the Falcons are small. You can get away with being small on the back end, but what you can't do is get away with is being small up front. The Falcons have a bigger lineman up front. Tyler Davidson, Grady Jarrett. Now you have Rashid Hageman back. You have Alan Bailey. Those guys are bigger up front. So absolutely, I think you can get away with speed or a lack of size up, on the backside with your linebackers and the guys in the secondary. But up front, the Falcons are significantly improved as far as these guys are the weight is concerned. They are much bigger up front. They're much tougher up front. John Kaminsky is an upgrade over Derek Shelby for sure. Like I said, Rashid Hageman is a guy that is that is back. I haven't seen much out of him, but he is back. He's with the team. Dieter Sanat, those guys are bigger up front. They're more aggressive up front. So I think we can get away with the size and the lack of size on the backside because we've improved the front. The front seven. Surprise cut before the season. Good question. I don't know, man. If I was to make if okay if Kirk wouldn't have gotten hurt, I think the surprise cut would have been Matt Schaub because he's making so much money as a backup, not making a ton of money. But yeah, I don't think there's going to be a surprise cut. I would be if anything, I doubt this happened. But the only surprise cut that I could see happening is not even see happening. I think the Falcons fans will probably lose their shit if this happened. But if there was a surprise cut, I think it will probably be Mohamed Sanu. I love what I've seen from Russell Gage, um, Olamide Zacchaeus. Those guys are making plays at receiver. Austin Hooper, I think he's going to be a significant player in the offense. So um, if I'm going to say a surprise cut, it would probably be Mohamed Sanu. I don't think that will happen, but no, I really don't. I don't think it'll happen, but that's the only surprise cut. Anything else won't be a surprise to me. I really don't see anything outside of Mohamed Sanu that would be a surprise. I could see a surprise trade. I could see a surprise trade. And this is probably going to throw a lot of Falcons fans off by me saying this. I think the surprise trade that I can see is trading of Devondre Campbell. And people are like, man, what are you smoking, dog? Devondre Campbell? Yeah, I think Devondre Campbell, um, especially in his new defense, especially in his new defense, you have guys like Austin Larkin. You have guys like John Kaminsky who can play outside, that outside linebacker. And you have Jermaine Grace, Austin Larkin. I've seen a couple of guys that are making plays as linebackers. 4-year Olakun, Duke Wright, those guys are still on the roster. So, what is Devondre Campbell really good at? No one truly knows. No one truly knows what he's good at. So, when you look at it, the only surprise trade. Now, come on, stop. You just being crazy now. Trade Dion, stop. Nah, man, the only surprise, you know, that I can see happening is um, Devondre Campbell, and that's about it. All right, but I appreciate everybody for tuning in to this live. You guys are already. Hold on. King Seven, what's good? Yeah, because boy Olakun coming through. Yeah, like I said, even with that, yeah, the only person that I can see on this defense is a surprise that could be possibly a surprise cut is Devondre Campbell, man. I don't think I think the Falcons are at this point they don't need him. And he is in his I think his final year of his contract. I don't know if the Falcons are in negotiation with him. I don't see why they would be negotiating him to extend his contract, being that you have guys like Austin Larkin that is making plays in preseason. I think he can definitely make some make some noise. Dion Foyer Olakun. You have guys that are making plays in the preseason at linebacker. And when you have a linebackers are making plays, Devondre Campbell, there's nothing really special about Devondre Campbell. There's nothing really special about him. I like him, I love him, but it's not really anything special about Devondre Campbell. But that's it. I appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. Your boy Mad Mike is out. You guys continue to support your boy on Mad Mike. I'm two subscribers away from 2,500. I really enjoyed you, Rodney. Also, everybody in this chat, man. Rodney, King Seven, all you guys, I appreciate it. Like I said before, it will be a live stream after every Atlanta Falcons game. All right, every Atlanta Falcons fan. So stay tuned for that. But your boy, man, Mike is out, man. Peace.